Welcome to the Mushroom Murder Trial podcast. I'm Lisa, and I've been tracking this case since 2023. Most weekdays, we delivered detailed coverage of one of Australia's most closely watched legal dramas. Here's everything you need to know from last week's Supreme Court of Victoria hearings in Morwell. Quick reminder, if you haven't signed up to our newsletter, it's at mushroommurdertrial.com. You get exclusive things, breakdowns. I'm going to expand it, so please get there and subscribe so you don't miss an edition. Now, we'll just quickly go into the case background and the legal disclaimers. The defendant is Erin Patterson, age 50, of Leongatha, Victoria. The charges are 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. And the plea is not guilty to all charges. As we know, there was a tragic family lunch on the 29th of July 2023 where she served a homemade beef Wellington containing the deadly toxins. Now today is Science with Lisa, and it's also appalling pronunciation with Lisa, so you have to bear with me. Okay. Apparently, the court was told, well, I heard it, the beef Wellington contained the deadly toxins from the Amanita phalloides, commonly known as the death cap mushroom. Now, within days, 3 family members died, Don and Gail Patterson, both aged 70, and Heather Wilkinson, aged 66. Heather's husband, Ian Wilkinson, fell critically ill but survived after an extended stay in intensive care. This trial is gripping the nation, not only because of the tragic loss of life, but due to the scientific complexities surrounding mushroom toxins, compounded by the questions about how samples were handled and analysed. Now, firstly, on Thursday, a juror was removed. Justice Christopher Beale formally discharged a juror amid allegations he had discussed the case details outside the jury room with friends and family. The bench had operated under a reporting ban until late Thursday, which is now listed, and we can talk about what happened. Now, Justice Beale found a, quote, reasonable possibility that the juror's conduct could have compromised confidentiality. So he stopped short of declaring actual misconduct, but His Honour reminded the remaining jurors, I want to remind you of my directions. You should only discuss the case with your fellow jurors in the privacy of the jury room. Any breach risks the integrity of these proceedings. So the juror was sent home. Now, here's our toxicology deep dive. Victoria's chief toxicologist, Dr Dimitri Gerostamoulos. What can I say? I'm an animal. Dr Dimitri Gerostamoulos. That's it. I'm sorry, my pronunciation's terrible. Spent 2 days on the stand this week. His testimony pivoted on chemical assays. Now, I looked these up for you. That's the testing of metal or ore to determine its ingredients and quality. Detecting alpha and beta amatoxins, the protein synthesis inhibitors responsible for liver failure. So as we know, 2 of the lunch attendees had, situations with their liver. Now, there were also the bin samples, scraps of the beef Wellington and mushroom paste. They were seized from Ms. Patterson's outside bin by police. These tests were conducted roughly 1 month after the July lunch, demonstrating that toxins can persist in food debris longer than previously thought. Now, human samples, blood and urine from Ms. Patterson, taken on the 31st of July, showed no traces of amatoxins, suggesting she either did not ingest the mushrooms or that detection windows vary by individual metabolism. The highly toxic amatoxins found only in death cap mushrooms, including alpha amatoxin and beta amatoxin, were detected in urine samples provided by one of the victims, and that was Dom Patterson when he was at Dandenong Hospital. There'd also been positive results from Ian Wilkinson's blood, serum and urine from the beta-amatoxin toxin. I'm really stuffing that up. I'll try better. Okay, now, Don and Ian both registered significant toxin levels. Conversely, post-mortem analyses of Gail Patterson and Heather Wilkinson, those showing advanced liver damage consistent with poisoning, returned negative for detectable amatoxins. Under cross-examination, the expert conceded that sample timing is critical. Evidence of toxins degrade over time, and the ideal sampling occurs within 24 to 36 hours of ingestion. He also confirmed that combining leftovers from two different collection points into one evidence bag was not procedural best practice, potentially complicating chain of custody questions. The toxicologist was quizzed by Mr. Mandy, SC, that's Colin Mandy, he's Erin's barrister, on the estimated fatal dose of the amatoxins found in death cap mushrooms. He said it was about 1 milligram per kilogram of body weight. So it's a, quote, very small amount. But he told the jury that for a 70-kilo adult, a lethal dose was about 50 grams or 3 tablespoons. But he agreed variables could affect whether a dose was lethal, such as age, weight, health, care received, and the toxic response of an individual. Next, we had Dr. David Lovelock. He's now the diagnostics manager at Plant Health Australia, and he provided additional analysis. He detailed how he received multiple food items in August 2023, ranging from gravy in Ziploc bags to fragments from a home dehydrator. In terms of the beef Wellington DNA, the only common button mushroom DNA was identified. Now, with the dehydrated debris, genetic sequencing returned a 99% match to Amanita phalloides, strongly suggesting that death cap mushrooms had been processed in the dehydrator prior to the fatal meal, allegedly. Dr. Lovelock said analysis of the 7 vials he'd received found 2 of the 7 dehydrator samples contained material genetically identified as death cap mushroom. We were able to detect Amanita phalloides in 2 of the 7 test tubes. The genetic code we got out of those 2 samples was more than 99% similar to a reference sample of Amanita phalloides. Amid the science, there was emotional testimony which added some human texture to the trial. Child protection worker Katrina Cripps spoke of interviewing Miss Patterson at her Leongatha home on August 2, 2023. The mother of 2 said she had aimed to cook something, quote, new and special for her extended family. She followed a recipe, Tin Eats Beef Wellington recipe, which has come up before, and that's the book. I had a look at it the other day. Some of the recipes look amazing. Now, Miss Cripps also recounted Miss Patterson's account of her strained marriage to Simon Patterson. According to the witness, Erin expressed feeling isolated. Simon had become, quote, distant and was allegedly restricting her access to his parents, her primary emotional support. She, quote, felt that he was isolating her from his family, the child protection worker said. Miss Cripps added Miss Patterson had told her, quote, about feeling like, in brackets, Simon was controlling and emotionally abusive, allegedly, in that he would say things to her that would make her doubt herself as a parent, as a mother, and it would impact her self-esteem. She also told Miss Cripps about hosting her parents-in-law for lunch with her children earlier in 2023, and she'd invited them because, quote, she just wanted to reconnect with them and see them. So what's next? The trial's resuming tomorrow with further expert witnesses scheduled to appear. We'll continue to track every debate, legal manoeuvre and witness account as this case heads towards closing arguments. We don't have a date on that yet, so stay tuned, subscribe, sign up for our newsletter, mushroommurdertrial.com, for the comprehensive coverage of every twist and turn in this trial. And if you feel like thanking me for all my hard work on this, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account where you pay $5 and I get a coffee as a thank you. I would love that. Anyway, have a fabulous week coming up, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Thank you. Bye.